These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan.
It's been a good season.
They cannot have fucked this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried.
The WNBA, a league finally on the cusp of an unprecedented boom, is somehow fumbling its biggest moment. It's a self-inflicted wound, and at the heart of the chaos is Caitlin Clark. Charles Barkley, never one to mince words, has unleashed a brutal reality check on the entire league, openly blasting the petty jealousy that threatens to derail everything. You're probably wondering, why is a league experiencing such explosive growth suddenly caught in this bitter internal war? And why are its own players seemingly attacking the very star who's lifting them all? We're diving deep into the shocking truth behind this dramatic conflict and Barkley's unyielding stance.
If you got people in a room,
yeah,
like if you got a bunch of dudes in a room and says, let's fuck up the WNBA, we couldn't have came up a master plan what these women have done.
The Indiana Fever's season opener was meant to be a crowning moment. Arenas were packed, the energy palpable, and the league's most talked about rookie, Caitlin Clark, was poised to make history. But the night quickly spiraled into a bitter sideshow. Whispers swelled into shocking accusations, claims of fan misconduct, and even racial slurs hurled at Chicago Sky star Angel Reese. Charles Barkley, renowned for his unfiltered takes, didn't hesitate.
So it's just petty jealousy, and it's really unfortunate because, and the thing that's really bad right now, we're not even talking about basketball. That's the problem that I have with the whole thing.
He instantly cast doubt on the claims, branding them a cynical distraction from Clark's on-court brilliance and the monumental growth opportunity she represented for the league. He called it unnecessary noise, detracting from what should have been a celebration, but Barkley's skepticism was merely the prologue to an even more astonishing revelation that would soon emerge.
But what's bad, instead of talking about all the good things happening for the WNBA, we're talking about negativity and all publicity. There used to be that old saying, all publicity is good publicity. No, it's not. Not when you're a niche sport trying to get the consumers to buy into your product.
Under intense public scrutiny, the WNBA swiftly launched an investigation into the allegations. For days, a damaging narrative gripped headlines, painting Indiana fans as guilty of racist behavior towards Angel Reese, fueled by the league's immediate response to the claims. Fever supporters felt unfairly targeted, and their integrity as fans dragged through the mud without a shred of concrete evidence. Then, the stunning verdict landed like a bombshell. After interviewing fans, arena staff, and meticulously reviewing game footage, the league found zero evidence to substantiate the claims of misconduct or racial remarks.
Petty jealousy, and it's really unfortunate because what she's done for the game, listen, I believe in rookie hazing, but some of the criticism has gotten overboard.
The accusations were completely baseless, but here's the most controversial part. The WNBA released their findings, stating the claims were not supported, yet offered no apology whatsoever to the fans who had been so publicly and unjustly maligned. This wasn't just a misstep, it was a profound self-inflicted wound that instantly jeopardized the WNBA's burgeoning future.
The girls got to grow up and you know what? I can go at her hard on the basketball court, but the visibility and stuff she's bringing to the league is going to fill all our wallets up in the long run.
The absence of an apology from the WNBA hit hard, igniting widespread fury among fans. Think about it. Fever supporters were cleared, yet they had endured nearly a week of being falsely branded as villains. The league's failure to acknowledge or amend this public damage left many feeling alienated, questioning the WNBA's priorities at a critical juncture. Barkley, whose initial criticism proved prescient, unleashed renewed condemnation.
But the stuff toward her is petty and jealous. And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. But there's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
He lambasted the league for letting baseless claims dominate headlines, accusing them of failing to control the narrative and, most critically, failing to protect their most loyal fans. He argued that the WNBA, in its desperate rush to address unproven allegations, actively chose controversy over celebrating its emerging superstar and the passion of its fan base. This devastating drama had now completely overshadowed Caitlin Clark's undeniable seismic impact on the sport.
But like I say, it's just a lot of petty jealousy out there, and it's really unfortunate. Taken away from the women's game. Because no matter what sport, if you're talking more about something other than the sport, so anything, this is just taken away from the game, in my opinion.
The numbers don't merely speak, they roar. Caitlin Clark isn't just moving the needle for the WNBA, she is the needle. Her arrival has unleashed an unprecedented economic and cultural tidal wave across the league. Draft viewership skyrocketed by an incredible 400%. Ticket sales across the WNBA surged by an astounding 93%. Regular season viewership exploded by 180%. Barkley, with his signature bluntness, drew a powerful comparison. That's like Steph Curry in the NBA. He passionately explained that Clark is single-handedly transforming the entire landscape, drawing attention and critically generating revenue that directly benefits every player and every team.
Just as suspected, nothing. And that other fan base, the old fan base, came after the Fever players, Fever fans.
To underscore her monumental influence, Clark's impact achieved in a mere 5 weeks what would have taken the WNBA 5 years of incremental organic growth. This is the kind of star every professional sports league dreams of, a game changer who reshapes the economic reality. Yet, despite this undeniable transformative success, a deep-seated unsettling jealousy began to simmer beneath the surface.
So it's really unfortunate, and it's just, and I like the way she's handling. She hasn't said anything, because you got so many fools out here who got unfortunately, negative opinions on television, on radio, and things like that. So I'm glad she's staying above the fray.
Barkley, ever the provocateur, didn't hold back when dissecting the source of the league's internal conflict. He repeatedly and unequivocally branded much of the backlash against Clark as petty jealousy. He acknowledged the understandable frustration of established WNBA players who have tirelessly worked their entire careers to put the league on the map, only to now watch a rookie command unprecedented attention, endorsement deals, and a level of fame they've never experienced. However, Barkley's counterpoint was sharp and direct. Clark isn't a threat, she is an unparalleled opportunity. He passionately argued that just like Steph Curry's impact created money for everyone in the NBA, Clark's presence is filling everyone's wallets in the WNBA.
And you old fans, you ones accusing us of racism and all that, y'all just took an L, and a big one. However, the league is also taking a big L, because there's no apologies to any fans whatsoever on this totally BS statement released by the WNBA.
Her influence elevates the entire league, boosting salaries, attracting major sponsorships, securing better facilities, and putting the WNBA squarely on the global stage. The players, he asserted, need to grow up and recognize Clark for what she truly is, a transformative force capable of lifting all boats. The league, tragically, seemed content to allow this internal conflict to fester rather than unify.
Yeah, you found nothing. That's great. That's accurate. Guess who told you would find nothing? The entire Indiana Fever fan base said you weren't going to find anything.
Historically, the WNBA has grappled with an uphill battle for mainstream attention and consistent profitability. Caitlin Clark's arrival was their golden ticket, a chance to finally break through and cement their place in the crowded sports landscape. But the league's controversial mishandling of the baseless allegations, compounded by the apparent internal strife and what Barkley called self-sabotage, threatened to derail this unprecedented momentum. Barkley's plea for unity was stark and urgent. This league's got enough problems without players turning on each other. He pointed out that focusing on negative, unproven claims and internal rivalries instead of the thrilling action on the court was a catastrophic strategic error.
The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. Where is the apology to your fans?
The WNBA, he passionately argued, needs to embrace the collective growth Clark brings rather than allow petty grievances to overshadow what could be its greatest era. But this internal conflict isn't just about resentment. It hints at a deeper, unspoken tension.
But this league that has never turned a profit decided to accuse their own fans of racism. Indiana Fever, as an organization, you're culpable here too. I mean, you are.
She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
Beneath the surface of petty jealousy lies a more complex and uncomfortable truth that has fueled some of the sharpest criticism aimed at Clark. There's an undeniable subtle undercurrent that plays into the narrative, the perceived quick rise of a white star, overshadowing established black players who have long championed the league and built its foundation. While not explicitly stated by Barkley, this unspoken tension creates a challenging dynamic. It sparks conversations about who gets attention, who benefits from it, and whether the focus is truly on collective growth or the individual.
I have a suspicion that outside of Indiana Fever game, there may be a boycott of every other game in your league. Of course, judging by the ratings, sometimes it looks like there already is a natural one.
Barkley's perspective, however, consistently circles back to the numbers and the undeniable impact. For him, while these societal dynamics exist, they shouldn't overshadow the collective good that Clark's visibility brings to every player in the league. This complex dynamic is amplified by the relentless spotlight of media and a fiercely divided fan base.
I don't know what it is with the old fandom. I don't know what it is about fans of other teams, but man, they didn't want regular sports fans to enter their arena. We're here. We're here. And we don't take things like this lying down. We don't stay quiet.
The moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the WNBA court, the media lens sharpened and every whisper became a headline. Social media platforms in particular acted as echo chambers, amplifying every scrap of drama and every perceived slight. This created a stark battle line between the league's old fans, loyal, long-standing supporters, and the massive influx of new fans Clark undeniably brought. The public outcry over the league's handling of the baseless accusations, coupled with the ongoing player tensions, led to widespread frustration.
I mean, they can't handle criticism. Again, a statement was made about hostile environment. Visiting arenas are hostile environments, and they have always known to be so.
There was even talk of boycotts among furious supporters who felt their passion for the game was being overshadowed by manufactured controversy. Instead of celebrating the sport, headlines focused on perceived slights fanned by the very outlets that should have been promoting its growth. All of this plays into the highest stakes the WNBA has ever faced.
Never forget, this BS investigation led to thousands of people spewing hate speech towards Indiana Fever players.
The implications of continued internal division within the WNBA are staggering. The league risks alienating the very new viewers Clark brought in, jeopardizing crucial sponsorship deals that are now finally on the table, and stifling the potential for massive salary growth for all players. This isn't just about bad press, it's about squandering an unprecedented opportunity to truly break into the mainstream. Barkley's message is an urgent warning. If the league, its players, and its management can't unite and embrace this boom, they risk watching it slip away.
I mean, let's keep it real. As my shirts all came in and my cap and all that, me bought a league pass. We're funding this whole thing now. We're funding it.
The opportunity cost of fumbling this moment, of allowing resentment and manufactured drama to overshadow pure athletic brilliance, is immeasurable. The future of the WNBA, its financial health, and its cultural standing depend entirely on whether it can rise above the noise and seize this golden chance. The true legacy of this transformative era will depend on a critical choice the league makes right now.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
Caitlin Clark is not just a star player. She is a generational phenomenon, representing an unparalleled opportunity to fundamentally transform the WNBA. Charles Barkley has made it abundantly clear her impact stretches far beyond individual performance, directly translating to skyrocketing ticket sales, booming viewership, and a level of attention the league has simply never commanded before. The controversies surrounding her, from the unfounded fan accusations and the league's shocking non-apology to the palpable internal player tensions and the deeper societal undercurrents, have cast a stark shadow over this incredible moment of ascendancy.
This girl is incredible. What she did in college for women's basketball, what she's doing in the WNBA.
She turned the Fever, were 1-8. They have a winning record now.
But the number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership. from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year.
Can the WNBA rise above the drama and capitalize on this unprecedented wave of energy? Or will the bitter sting of jealousy, the mishandling of fan loyalty, and internal strife cause them to squander their greatest opportunity to become a truly global, profitable, and celebrated sports powerhouse? The destiny of women's basketball and its place in the wider world of professional sports now hangs precariously in the balance.